Hi, everyone probably get to test Archer by now, so today's guide will be a bit different. Instead of normal guide, we will talk about tips and tricks on how to play Archer instead. Today's content are as follow: tricks for beginner to advanced player, Machine Cock Sparkle, and free-to-play team showcase for Archer in Hanya's team and Sparkle's team on MOC 12 to show you the most optimal way to play Archer. I highly recommend you watching the run at the end as well. Though it's not a zero cycles, there's a lot of things for you to learn from, including survival technique for player who has low relics quality. Here's our topic today. Start off with team building for Archer. Archer damage comes from his big arrow. Plus, he has this trace which gives a lot of crit damage if the SP is more than 4 after ally gain SP. This means you should always aim for 100% crit rate. Even 100/80 will do, because if you miss crit once, that's a really sad day for you. For his teammate, always aim for a fast teammate with SP positive nature, such as Gallagher, Silver Wolf, Tribby, Hanya, Sparkle, Cypher, and RMC. Ting Yun and Sunday also works pretty well despite not being a true SP generator. Since they give energy with their ult, more Archer ult equals more follow-up and equals more SP. Next, we will talk about support speed breakpoint. You might have saw a lot of Archer showcase rocking a jet support with 160x speed Eagle Sparkle, 200 speed Cypher and Silver Wolf, 180 speed Gallagher, and so on. Wait, but Ruri, I don't have those godly relics, nor I ever farm Eagle set, then how do you play Archer? Well, if you can do that extremely fast support, then you don't have to. Actually, 134 speed Sparkle with high crit damage and 160x speed Eagle Sparkle is actually not that big difference for Archer at all, especially for casual or normal playstyle. What you actually need is your other two characters should be fast and being SP positive, so they can generate SP for your team. For Hanya's team, however, your Hanya should be very fast. I even recommend you to go 2+2 speed or Eagle with 1 vac. Minimum speed requirement for her is 167 speed. This way Hanya will always move 3 times while Archer move twice, and with Eagle, you can even basic attack in between for this. This allows Archer to almost always be able to shoot at least 3 arrows every time he moves. Here's the example speed tuning for beginner player, and here is the example speed tuning for veteran player. Next, we will talk about SP management for this team. Archer's skill damage scale with how many times he shoots consecutively. First 2 arrows is weaker and the strongest one start at third shot onward. So if your Archer takes a turn when you have less than 6 SP or less than 5 SP with Hanya's mark, basic attack that turn away is better for your overall DPS. This also applies to your Sparkle and Hanya. If you don't have enough SP, then basic attack is not a wrong thing to do. I will highly emphasize this property to Sparkle, where her basic attack actually gives 30 energy just like how she uses her skill, which we will be deep diving into this later. Note that SP management for Archer can be brutal, since he eats a lot of SP, like a lot. Plus, enemy nowadays hit extremely hard. Unless you have a premium 5-star sustain, then you will have to rely on SP to heal you up sometime. So the best advice here is to not be greedy. Even if you can shoot 4 to 5 arrows in that turn, but if your teammate is dying, then it's no point. You better save 2 or 4 SP so you can recover them up to clear the stage. For more information on SP management, I recommend you watching the showcase later into this video. Since all the characters were severely nerfed to show the essential of Archer gameplay and how to maximize team performance even with low entry gear. Next is 5 arrow technique and how to do it. For Sparkle method is pretty easy. Since you have 9 SP, the easiest way is to stack SP up to 7, shoot once, then Sparkle out to push your SP back to 9. This allows Archer to use 10 SP in one turn, and also leave you with 1 SP so you can recover from SP shortage. For non-Sparkle team, however, this will be a bit tricky. because we have to play with Archer follow-up mechanics. You will need Hanya plus either RMC or 3B, since you need to recover 3 SP within Archer's turn. Start with Hanya place her skill mark on the target. Then Archer shoot arrow into the out, into teammate out to recover 2 SP. Then you shoot until you get your 5 arrow. Note that while 5 arrow is possible without Sparkle, I do not recommend you doing this on dangerous state, since you will be left with 0 resource right after. Next is buff snapshotting. For buff snapshot, Archer works exactly the same as Xingxue or Scylla in this regard. If you skill once, that will immediately end Archer's turn and the rest of it is an extra turn. So after you shoot once, you can cast every time based buff or any advanced forward mechanics such as Robin Out, Dance Dance Dance, and Archer will still receive full benefit from it while not taking down the buff at all. Next, we are going to talk about Machine Clock Sparkle. If you have seen my previous video on Archer, you might have noticed that I used Machine Clock, a 3-star light cone on Sparkle instead of Dance 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 or a typical buffer cone. Since Machine Clock gives 8 energy every time you attack or get hit, and it resets on anyone's turn including enemy turn. This allows Sparkle to gain massive energy from basic attack and getting hit, which allows a 2-turn ultimate rotation, generating massive SP. Even without enemy hitting you, you can see that on the screen that Sparkle basic with skill with 1 QPQ proc can consistently give a 2-turn ultimate rotation, which is fantastic. Here's pro and cons for Machine Clock Sparkle. Basically, you have more SP to play around with just a little bit less damage, but it's harder to optimize around it. Plus, 3-star light cone is squishier. If you don't max your trace, you may get one shot in dangerous state. So when do we use Sparkle with Machine Clock? Machine Clock is the best when you can receive multiple small hits from enemy. For example, in Pure Fiction or some MOC that does weak LE attack, or even some stage that doesn't hit really hard and not so frequent. For hard hitting stage, however, Machine Clock might not be the best, especially if you get one shot every time enemy move. But if your build is more tanky or tanky enough, then Machine Clock can go anywhere if you like. Another mention is some state that already gives you too much energy. For example, Hule. Sparkle might benefit more from S1 Bronya and S1 Sunday, since they can easily tank fast and frequent hit and get enough energy for one turn out, which also rendering Conquer useless. Remember, your Archer arrow will be very slightly weaker than usual due to no DMG % buff from the usual buffer LC, but trust me, it's worth it. Alright, that's it for the tip and trick. Now I will show you the Hanya versus Sparkle run for MOC 12. Archer will only have 26 to 27 effective substat, and I will break all the support to match those lower entry players. This is the stat for each character for both runs. Enjoy the showcase.
I am the bone of my soul. Unlimited. Blade work. 俺を信じろ。不可能はない。どこに行く？逃げ場はない。あそっ。
信があるみたいだな。よく見せてくれ。
優しくするね。
私の番か。カラドボルドレス
かくれんぼし答え見つけてごらん。
どこに行く。
I am the bone of my soul. Unlimited. Blade work.
生命をさあ存分に味わえ。まだだ。
遊んでよ。動じないで。
懲りないやつだ。カラドボルドレスオン。
どこに行く。
ヒャッ。
お仕置きされたいのか。
優しくするね。こんなもんかくれんぼし答え見つけてごらん。
俺を信じ不可能はない。私の番か。カラドボルドレスオン。I am unlimited. Blade work.
どこに行く。
ヒャッ。
生命はさあ存分に味わえ。まだ
遊んでよ。
俺がやる。俺を信じる不可能はない。カラドボルドレスオン。
かくれんぼし答え見つけてごらん。
お仕置きされたいのか。
動じないで。
カラドボルドレスオン。
どこに行く。
I am unlimited. Blade work. 逃げ場はない。もう忘れたのか。
生命はビッツァ存分に味わえ。よく見せてくれ。
俺がやる。懲りないや
かくれんぼし答え見つけてごらん。
カラドボルドレスオン。 厄介な相手だ。
デジャ
ブロークンファンタズ
最高の罰ですこれ頼むよまだ否定する
ム。懲りないやつだ。えいっカラドボルトレソン。I am the bone of my soul. Unlimited. Blade works.
裕福な定めし獣王の直ここに書となるもう忘れたの抵抗は無駄罪に向き合って
生命さあ存分に味わえ。
私の番か。カラドボルトレソン。逃げ場はない。
いや罰を返す私をし不可能はない
懲りないやつ。カラドボルトレソン。どこに行く。
裕福な定めし書は獣王の直ここに書となる
お仕置きされたいのか。
私がやるいや
私の番か。えいっ
罪に向き合って
さあ存分に味わ
これが維心伝心
懲りないやつだ。I am unlimited. Blade works. カラドボルトレソン。ヒャッハ
罰を返す
え。お仕置きされたいのか。
もう忘れたの重罪裕福が定めし書獣王の直ここに書となるいや
私の番か。
私をし不可能はない
懲りないやつだ。カラドボルトレソン。I am unlimited. Blade works. ヒャッ
気づいてんの
この程度か。
よく見せてくれ。生命はさあ存分に味わえ。
罰を返す
私の番か。
少し休め。
休憩終わり。まだ否定するの。夫婦が定めし処罰。援護獣王の直。ここに書となる。重罪にあたる。私を信じて不可能はない。
よく見せてくれ。飲め。頼りになるが生命はさあ存分に味わえ。自信があるみたいだな。
気づいてないんだ。罪に向き合う。
I am the bone of my soul. Unlimited. Blade of work.
罰を返す。夫婦が定めし処罰。獣王の直。ここに書となる。
体ボルトレソン。
お仕置きされたいのか。さあ存分に味わえ。
私を不可能はない抵抗は無駄。罪に向き合う。
懲りないやつだ。体ボルトレソン。I am the bone of my soul. Steel is my body, and fire is my blood. I have created over 1,000 blades, unknown to death, unknown to life. Have withstood pain to create many weapons. Yet, those hands will never hold anything. So, as I pray, unlimited blade works!